Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. I don't know which one I should start off with first. I really don't. It's like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You know what? Let's start off with Xander and Nicole. Because here's the thing. Xander is reading a Playboy. Of course, they don't sit there and say Playboy. It says like pen something or whatever, like Playpen or something like that. He's reading it. Nicole walks in. Nicole's like, ugh, that's disgusting. Or something that she says, like that's gross or something. And I'm like, sweetheart, pretty sure this chick was in a porn. I'm pretty sure she was a porn star at one point in time. Because Sammy, for the life of everyone, has not let her live that down. So for somebody to walk in a room, see nudity, and say, ew, that's gross, knowing that you did porn is like, wait, what? Are you serious? That's number one. Number two, listen, everyone has different professions, and maybe it's just the, well, let's be honest, the fact that I do like, adult material. But just in general, you shouldn't sit there and start, like, crapping on somebody else just because of what they do or, you know, whatever. You know, the fact that she walked in, she was like, that's so gross. It's like, well, that person actually likes what they do, and they actually like their job. And, who are you to sit there and start putting them down? And by the way, once again, you did porn. So what the hell are you talking about? But with that being said, you know, Nicole's like, listen, we should worry about Sammy because Sammy is on to us. Or on to me. You know, I make up this fake receipt, but it's not going to keep her at bay for long. That's when Xander's like, well, what if we had someone on her? You know, what if she cheated with someone? Nicole starts running through the list of names. And then, you know, Xander's like, what about Lucas? You know, they were afraid. They were there for days. I mean, you know how that room is. I mean, you know, everyone has practically, you know, now I'm sitting there saying that out loud, that somehow just kind of sounds kind of gross. But yeah, he pretty much is like, you know, everyone has, like, you know, been in that basement, you know, doing a deed or whatever. Playing mattress tag. Doing a deed. That sounds so old. But yeah, you know, everyone's been down there, you know, doing whatever. So, like, I wouldn't sit there and put it past them. Now, Nicole's like, you know, that's all good and great, but here's the thing, we don't have any proof. Xander is like, what if we just work backwards? What if we just give a theory and then find the evidence afterwards? And I'm like, you know what? That's not half bad. I mean, Sammy does actually have a track record of, you know, doing that sort of stuff. So, to be honest, why not throw it out there? Throw it out there, see what happens. The worst case scenario happens. The worst case is she denies it and it's not true. You know, she denies it and it's not true. And then you sit there and you call her bluff. And you see if she's going to respond. I don't think, you know, I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, like, granted, we all know. But, you know, at this point, Nicole, what do you have to lose? You know, besides your marriage, oh, wait, you can sit there and tell the truth. Never mind. Speaking of not telling the truth, oh, and I did not get to the best part. I actually left it right at that moment, and the minute I'm done with recording this, and I'm gonna sit there and watch that part, because Xander, you know, these people like to talk really loud, despite that anybody could walk into the room at any point in time. Brady walks in there, and he just lays it all out. Well, you know, I mean, we just had that hot sex, you know, me and you, behind Eric's back, pretty much. And Brady walks in like it's almost like he just walked into like an alternate dimension. Like he just walked in like, wait, this is my office? I didn't hear this right. Nicole would never do that. Especially with, like, Xander. But he walks in, and I almost was like, yo, bro, you alright? You need some water? Like, he looked like he was shocked. And disappointed. He looked like he was disappointed. Because everything he was saying about, you know, saying to Chloe as far as, like, you know, strong holding her and stuff like that, like, because he went over, well, apparently Victor's at the pool or something. Listen, can we just do something with Victor's character? It's just saying, oh, he's at the pool, he's at the mall, he's like... So yeah, Brady comes over there, check on Chloe, and to sit there and say, hey, listen, just so you know, Xander's back, and, we really need your help. And of course, Chloe's like, why would Nicole really try to get Xander a job? And, Brady's like, well, he must have something over her, which is the reason why she's there. I just haven't figured it out. And he walks in, he hears that, and it's just like, yep, everything he was thinking just got confirmed. Which at this point, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if it makes that much of a difference. I mean, okay, so Brady knows. But Xander could still sit there and tell Eric. So, like, once again, why is it... at this point, I just feel like Xander he needs a backup plan in case this does not work out. What I don't understand is that he's, like, practically, like, living destitute and stuff like that. I was like, your uncle is Victor. He's rich. I know he doesn't want to sit there and get a handout or ask for money and stuff like that, but, like, where's your next stop? Like, soup kitchen? Like, what is your plan, Xander? I just... Now, speaking of spineless cowards, I do not understand for the life of me what Lucas sees in Sammy. I really don't. And yes, I know I've seen the pictures of 90s Sammy, and well, 90s Sammy is, she's 90s Sammy, so I understand the attraction on that, but, I don't really understand what Lucas sees in Sammy still, because when EJ comes in, EJ's like, so what's going on? Like, what's going on between you two? Sam's like, oh, I don't want you living in the house, because of EJ, and I know your mother wants to live here, like, you want to be close to your mother and make sure that your mother's okay. And EJ's like, listen, I know the rooms are packed, but that's your mom, and I mean, listen, we don't get along. And at one point, he starts here's the thing, he belittles him to the point where he acts like he's not in the room. I'm like, bro, this is definitely Chad's brother, okay? This is definitely Chad's brother to a T. It just, somehow, when he comes across as a dick, it's actually kind of entertaining. When Chad comes across as a dick, it's just kind of annoying after a while. I don't know, I guess he just... Maybe it's I know it has a lot to do with the accent, but maybe just the way he delivers what he's saying. But yeah, Sammy is just trying to get Lucas to back off, trying to get him not to stay at the house and be like, hey, listen, don't stay at the house. I know he offered, but you don't want to stay here, right, Lucas? Like, right? And with that being said, Lucas is like, all right, fine, whatever. Now, at some point, EJ leaves, and Lucas and Sammy talk for a little bit. And, Sammy gives the whole, he's my husband, I'm working on my marriage, blah, 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 he's the love of my life, all this other crap. And it just gets to a point where it's like, oh my goodness, Sammy, listen, I know you must have been a force of nature back in the day, and I wish I could have seen that version, because this pathetic, spineless version now is just sad. It's just sad. And I know I'm late to the party. I know I'm late to the whole Sammy party, but this version is just pathetic. Okay? And you know what? Listen, I don't know EJ that much, and I know that he comes across as a person that, well, he pretty much kind of uses Sammy as property. Oh, my wife, my company, this, that, and the third. There's one point where EJ's sitting there talking to Sammy about, giving my all to her, and, being really disappointed as far as me pushing you away, and, let's just rebuild our marriage, and kind of say these vows and stuff like that in a way. And, Sammy starts crying and stuff like that, and I'm like, the outside world, from the inside world, you are literally hurting two people right now. You're hurting Lucas, okay, you're hurting Lucas, and you're gonna be hurting EJ. Now, don't get me wrong, EJ. I'm not. Listen, it's very hard for me to sit there and justify cheating, and I can't even justify the cheating part. I can't. I understand why she did what she did, but I don't justify the cheating part. But with that being said, you know, EJ hurt Sammy really bad. And, you know, part of me feels like I shouldn't feel sorry for him because of the way he treated Sammy. You know, there's that part of me that doesn't feel sorry for him. But this guy sent to saying, I want to try, I want to work on our marriage, and I hope you're with me, I hope you're standing by with me, and you sit there and say yes, and you're just lying straight to his face, you're going to wind up hurting him. Now with him, it's clearly not like hurting Lucas. This man seems dangerous as hell. But like in a lot of ways, you're lying to this guy, you're hurting that guy. Sammy, you are just a mess. And I wouldn't mind a mess, but you're a pathetic mess. You're a pathetic mess. That's... I don't really think I have any more words for that. I really don't. EJ does ask, you know, Chad, like, yo, listen, we gotta take back this company from the grease monkey. That's not what he said, but I'm pretty sure those are the lines he would have used. So he's like, yo, listen, you and you out. Like, well, let me know what's going on. And, you know, Chad once again was like, yeah, I'll let you know. I'm like, bro, seriously, it's been like, how long, like, has he been asking you this question? It's not a hard question. You're either in or you're out. Like, what is this decision making? I mean, listen, you don't really exactly love Jake or anything like that. Like, y'all not at each other's throats like y'all were, and you're clearly okay with Kate doing what she's doing, getting revenge. So, like, what's the difference now? You know? Now Kate upstairs is just, she's just soaking it all in. You know, this whole making Jake feel guilty, making, you know, getting to the point like, oh, let's have sex and stuff, like, which, by the way, again, that just comes across as crazy. But after she drops that, you know, because Jacob's like, oh, you're tired, you know, the doctor and everything like that, you don't want to get overwhelmed. And Jacob's like, all right, so why don't you go to bed and I'll, you know, see you in the morning when I, you know, kind of knock some boots with Gabi. But Kate's like, no, I need you to hold me while I'm sleeping. And I'm just like, now don't get me wrong, that sigh wasn't like I'm over it or anything like that. I'm just like, alright, so what else do you have in play? It's, I don't know, maybe I was just like, in a way, I'm kind of just like, alright, so how long is this going to go on for? On the other hand, I'm not mad at Kate for what she's doing. I mean, it literally wasn't even a week before he decided to jump in bed with Gabi. So, I'm kind of just like, bro, you are literally getting what you deserve. Not to mention the fact that he shoved Gwen in the closet to sit there and talk to Gabi. We all know how I feel about Gwen, but still. So he's getting everything he deserves, you know, the whole, you know, the looks and stuff like that. And there was one point where she said something, he's like, I'm like, bro, if you're expecting sympathy from me, you're not getting it. I mean, I know it's supposed to be bro code, but nah, we good. You deserve all that smoke. But with that being said, he does get a reprieve from Lucas. Lucas walks in there, and Gabi and Jake is like, "Hey, listen, I'll come back in and check on you." Now they talk for a little bit, Lucas and Kate. There's one point where Kate's like, "Oh, you have this sad look on your face. What is wrong with this chick? Yo, you literally it's almost like you want to get caught." Luke is like, how can you see my facial expression? And you know, Kate's like, oh well, I heard it. I heard it in your voice. Okay, all right, fine, we're doing this. All right. Well, you know, he's upset. He's bummed about Sammy because for some odd reason he still has a thing for Sammy, which I just gonna be honest, I don't really know why, but whatever. Now Sammy and Gabi does kind of talk for a little bit. Talk about Jake, the whole Kate thing, and how she is not happy with it. But, she understands that, you know, Jake wants to do the right thing, but she's also worried because, how many times can he sit there and say no to, them knocking boots? Now, when Gabi goes upstairs, Gabi goes upstairs, sees Jake, Jake is like, Gabi's like, so did she ask you for, play a game of mattress tag? And, Jake's like, yeah, but I turned it down. And Gabi was like, I know it. She was like, I know it. But yeah, she's like, yo, how long is this gonna go on for? Because she's just like up to here with it. Like she's done. She's over it. Now it's gonna get to a point where Chad's gonna have to sit there and play interference because, at this point we all know that Kate is not doing so well in this game of trying to get back at Jake and Gabi by faking her blindness because almost every turn, almost every episode, every other episode, she does something to slip up, and you're just like, yo, is this chick stupid? Like, what is wrong with you? You're supposed to be blind. Oh, you brought me lilies. Oh, I didn't know you were here, Gabi. Like, what are you doing? Is this a joke? Like, what is wrong with you? And the last scene is just pretty much Philip and Chloe kind of just hanging out, and he pretty much waiting on her hand and foot. Like, this dude is really putting in that work. I gotta sit there and admire that. Some people would sit there and call it simping, but this man is putting in that work. I applaud it. This is coming from a person who called him a man-child. He's waiting on their hand and foot, favorite Jews, grapefruit, and all this other stuff like that. He's just literally just being the manservant, and, I admire his work ethic. They're talking. Now, Brady walks in, of course, and he's all like, oh, well, I want to see if you're in here, see how you're doing, see if you're okay. Like, bro, what are you doing here? You know she was going to be in here. Like, what do you want? They go back and forth, back and forth. Brady's like, I gotta sit there and talk about, B&B, basic black, business. So Philip's like, alright, fine, I'll go in the other room or make myself scarce, which he really didn't, and he just eavesdropped. Just pretty much just listening on the whole conversation. Now when I was done, Brady's like, you need to come back and work with us, need to come back to work. Now Phil's like, hey. Alright, no pressure. She just got out the hospital, bro. Why don't you just, it's really interesting about Chloe. Chloe would sit there and watch those two bicker back and forth with each other. And she'll let it go on for like a good 2 or 3 minutes. Because she's enjoying it. She's literally enjoying the fact that these two men are sitting there fighting over her. And I don't know how to sit there and take that. I really don't. I'm going to sit there and really think about that. Because, it was something that was just like... granted, this isn't the first time that she watched them argue with, Brady and Philip argue with each other. Hell, somebody even made a comment about that. Like, they used to do that way back in the day. And Chloe didn't sit there and say anything. She just stood there and smiled and laughed. Like, really? Listen, honestly tell you the truth, these two are kind of just making jackasses of themselves, but you're just kind of taking it all in and just laughing like it's just, oh, do me, and just like, well, what does that say about you, Chloe? Like, what does that say about you? So I'm going to really sit there and think about that before I really dive into that, because that's something that has been going over my head for a while, and I don't know why, actually. Now, the one thing that Philip was sitting there saying, as far as, when he was sitting there saying, hey, don't let him pressure you to come back to basic black, and, Chloe's like, oh, I want to come back there to help my friend Brady and stuff like that. And Phil was like, oh, why would you want to do that when you can work for me? Now, I would have probably said work with me, but, whatever. Work for me, I guess that's, okay. But yeah, he offered her a job. He's pretty much poaching her, and I'm like, I'm with it. if he gets Chloe to work for Titan, that, I don't know why that's actually going to make me so happy, but that's somehow going to make me happy. I don't know why. I really don't. I'm not a person that's into coupling or shipping or anything like that. But just the simple fact that, like, she's working with, you know, Basic Black and Nicole and stuff like that, and the fact that Philip be like, yo, now she's on our side. What you got? You know, that would be very, very, very interesting. Who else is working? Oh, you got Basic Black. You got, okay, hold on. How many businesses do you have so far? Basic Black, and then there's just Demaro, right? I feel like I'm missing something. There's Basic Black, there's Titan, and then there's Demaro Industries. Is that right? Let me know in the comment section. But yes, that will be very, very, very interesting. I think that's about it, more or less. I'm pretty sure I probably forgot something, but I'm not too sure what it is. So with that being said, I'm gonna go. If I didn't mention anything, please write it down in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section as just far as this whole episode is concerned, especially with Nicole, because Nicole, every now and then she'll say something that just be like, what's wrong with you? Or they'll just have her do like makeup or whatever that just clearly doesn't work with her, and they'll just like, let's try it anyway. And then we gotta sit there and look at that for like a whole hour. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are. Thank you for watching. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Be safe. See you in the next video.